want for Christmas is a like and a subscribe if you haven't already. The holidays are upon us, and yes, my tree is up. Is that a problem? And for this holiday season, our friends at Mighty Boards had an excellent idea about a festive video we could do, and we came up with some paint colors that really do a great job at reflecting the holiday season. So a big shout out to them for inspiring us, and also more on what they do later on in the video. Because I feel like spreading the holiday cheer, I went ahead and picked 5 colors from 5 different paint companies that do a great job at representing this time of year that we're currently in, if you're watching at the time of this recording. Although these are paint colors, you don't necessarily need to think of them in that light alone. This is a color scheme that you can implement in other ways through decorations, or maybe you can change over your all-season throw pillows like these in exchange for some more festive ones like these. Bit of Scottish tartan. But if you do want to look at them as paint colors specifically, there are actually a surprising number of ways you can incorporate these colors without completely disrupting your home's decor. A red living room and a green dining room may work for some people year-round, but for most of us, we don't want to be painting our hallway every single season. So these are colors that you can incorporate in slightly smaller doses, like on a piece of furniture you've been meaning to refinish, or maybe your cabinets, or just your kitchen island. Or most notably, why not use these colors as an accent wall that you've been meaning to change up? It doesn't need to be a super massive project, but you can still inject some of that holiday cheer into your space with a beautiful paint color that will stand the test of time. So, without further ado, let's start with our first color, which is a very grounded chocolatey brown, and it's called Chestnut by PPG. I mean, an obvious choice here. I almost sang chestnuts roasting on an open fire at the beginning because of this color. I know it's not called that, but I instead opted for a little Mariah Carey. Why not? Chestnut is an obvious choice here, not only for the name, but also the beautifully deep cocoa color that this color displays. It's an excellent baseline for the entire palette. And in fact, browns in general are just a fantastic color to use when you want something a little more dramatic and dark, but still incorporates itself well with a variety of other different colors. Brown isn't really going to clash with anything unless if it's a really greeny brown, which may not work in certain cases, or vice versa if you get really, really red and almost purpley. We're not talking about a deep magenta color here, or a fiery orange that is dramatic but polarizing. Chestnut remains suitable amongst lighter tan colors or any off-white you want to throw at it. More importantly, it'll add some composure to your holiday theme that we're trying to build here. For our next color, we have something that isn't necessarily thought as a traditional Christmas color, but I feel it does a wonderful job at reflecting a beautifully rich winter sky. And the color we're talking about is called Imperial Purple by Farrow & Ball. I absolutely love incorporating dark purples whenever I can, especially as little touches of accent colors here and there that can just really add to a space this level of luxury that truly envelops you. And you know, coming from Farrow & Ball, this has such a beautiful, prominent color hue that feels so sleek when applied on walls. Use this in a room with perhaps not a lot of windows, and you'll turn it into a regal cave, which actually sounds pretty cool to me. But as you introduce light to it, especially from big, beautiful windows, the colors inside will come to life, and it's truly remarkable looking. But it wouldn't be the holidays, especially in North America, without a white paint color to reflect the snow. And for this one, I turned to bear paint, specifically with the color called Polar Bear. I always wish they spelled the color name like they spell their company name, just for consistency's sake. What a missed opportunity. Anyway, Polar Bear has consistently been my favorite white paint color by Bear because it has this wonderful duality of feeling crisp yet still warm, which gives it immense versatility. So not only does it work well with the other colors in this video, but it's also my consistent go-to white color for nearly any color palette when I'm working within the Bear paint color catalog. Now, of course, when you have an off-white paint color, it's gonna work really, really well on the trims, on your baseboards and doors, but you can also use it as an off-white wall color as well. And for those cases in particular, I strongly encourage you test the color out with a Mighty board. Our friends at Mighty Boards make the best paintable, flexible boards that do a really good job at giving you an accurate representation of what the color actually looks like. So no matter whether you're getting a tester from Behr, from Benjamin Moore, from Sherwin-Williams, it doesn't matter, because a Mighty board will take any paint. You apply the paint onto the board, and then you can actually see the color in the room that you're painting. If you're liking the idea of an off-white wall and polar bear is catching your eye, but you're not quite sure if it's warm enough, or maybe it's a bit too warm for your liking, Mighty boards will help you make that decision, because once you have it ready to go, you can see it on your wall, you can see it next to a door, which is also white, so it's more objective, and then you'll be more equipped to make a better decision. I'll leave their information down below if you want to get some Mighty boards for yourself. Now, for all of my Benjamin Moore fans watching, our next color is by that very company. And of all the holiday colors, one that comes to many people's mind is red. And that's, of course, because of our boy Santa Claus. And although this isn't a perfect color match of his bright red coat, it is hands down my favorite red paint color in the Benjamin Moore catalog. It's part of the Affinity color line, and ironically, it means hot in Spanish. It's Caliente, AF290. This is the third fairly dark, rich color on this list. I'm pretty much obsessed with it because it makes a statement. It has a real impact to it, but at the same time, it doesn't feel over the top or visually exhausting like a more energetic yellow color would. Kind of like my jumper. This is pretty aggressive. It still brings some prestige, and amongst other holiday colors, it sits in perfectly as a beautiful complement to our final color. Oh, speaking of that, I forgot I need to go to Costco, so I'll have to tell you about that next color on the way. Oops. The fifth and final color we're gonna talk about is Sherwin-Williams Nurture Green, which is actually quite similar to my jacket that I'm wearing from Lululemon. Not sponsored. The color may look a bit different outside because the lighting is going to be different than interior lighting, but when you see it indoors with some incandescent lighting, it is a really lovely, warm, inviting, sagey green that goes very well with minty greens, off-whites, and beautiful creams, kind of like eggnog. If you want to know the Sherwin-Williams color of the year, which was kind of green, you can check it out right over here, right now.